I'm so excited because today I have one of my good friends here with us. She's one of my favorite food friends. Nicole Berrie is the founder of the popular wellness platform at Bonberi. And she is always sharing the best, most mouth-watering plant-based recipes. I always want everything that she posts. And she lives this non-toxic lifestyle and gives really easy tips to follow. And honestly, her wellness routine is the stuff of dreams. It is envy inducing for sure. And she's also the founder of the New York City based health store Bonberi Mart that has a complete cult following. I just want to dive right into it. Nicole, I'm
Yeah.
so happy that you're here.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having
I
me.
feel like this is a long time
It
coming.
really is.
We
Yeah.
kind of like came up together.
I know. I mean, I that's really nice, but I feel like what I love is that like our love of food and like we both get so excited about a meal, whether that's like Houston's or like a big
Yeah.
salad. So I feel like we bonded over that.
Totally. We
Yeah.
we first met in an exercise class
Oh my
at
God.
Tracy
Yes.
Anderson
Yes.
years ago,
Oh
and
my
you
God.
were
Years
doing your
ago.
blog,
Yes,
Bonberry.
and you had just written I think was
I
it Endless
Endless
Summer?
Summer
Yeah.
Cookbook, yeah,
Mhm.
and we did a photo shoot and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, I was doing so back then we had a blog, bonberry.com, and it was all about interviewing different people in all different walks of life and like learn about what they eat and what they cook. And I remember really resonating with everything you were saying about like what your grandmother taught you about, fruit and everything like that. And I was like, yes, I'm so aligned with that.
Yeah, it was the Fit for Life book that we
Mm-hmm.
kinda bonded over.
OG.
I mean, that's really OG.
It
Like,
is.
did that come out in the '80s?
It did, and it actually for my cookbook, I referenced it. It's one of
Uh-huh.
my citations because I love that book.
I think it's such a good book,
Mhm.
and I've reread it a couple of times
Yeah.
as an adult, and I think it's one of the few I don't like to say the word diet books
Mm.
because I think it's more of a lifestyle
For
book
sure, yeah.
about eating, but I think it's one of the few that has stood the test of time
Yeah.
and it is so focused on plants. And
Yes.
can you talk a little bit about what food combining is for
Yeah.
people who don't know what that
So
is?
so for me, I love 2 things. I love food and enjoying and indulging in and the joy and celebration around food. That's always been something that I grew up with. But I also like feeling physically amazing, and for me, I wanted to find a way, like unlock the key of how can I live both lives at the same time without feeling like I'm bouncing back and forth or yo-yoing back and forth. So books like Fit for Life or Natalia Rose, who wrote The Detox for Women, these books create kind of like a map, if you will, principles that you can follow and dip in and out of them and really still enjoy your life. So for me, food combining is the key to living a really intuitive life when it comes to eating. So basically, all it means is you're trying to optimize your digestion. What you eat and what you pair really depends on like how long it's going to leave the body. So I eat in a way that really helps digest quickly, and then you can like focus your attention on your life rather than what you're eating or portion control or things like that.
So, what's your method of food combining? Like, walk me through how you live.
So, food combining seems scary and it seems like there's so many rules, to follow, but really all it means is focusing on raw vegetables, fruits and vegetables. So, I start my day with either a juice, a green juice, a smoothie, a fruit bowl, really in abundance. There's no portion control at all. I just eat what I like. So, today I had a green juice and I had some pineapple, and that felt really hydrating and great. And then lunch will look like a big green salad with either a protein or a starch. So you'll choose one or the other. And I like to say it's choose your own adventure. So today, let's say I'll be craving something like a quinoa or brown rice based salad, or tomorrow I might be craving something like tuna or hard boiled eggs or something. And I choose one of those things because what happens if you choose a grain and a protein, it's not the end of the world. It just takes longer to digest. And that energy I would prefer to be spent elsewhere towards work, towards my kids, towards healing my hair, my skin, rather than taking all that time to digest. So I'll do that. And then dinner is the same thing. I'll start with a big green salad and choose my own adventure, protein or starch. And so it could be a pasta day, or it could be a grilled fish day, or it could be a steak day, or it could be fried rice day. I just choose one of those things. And that's it. I have loosely followed that for the past, I want to say 15 years. And it's so easy for me to follow that because it's so forgiving and so easy, but it just creates kind of a roadmap for me physically so I can feel good in my body and also feel the freedom to choose what I want rather than having someone tell me, you need to have this many grams of this. You should have like a protein like the size of your palm or like the deck of cards, that whole thing. I don't listen to those rules. I just kind of follow these broad principles.
Yeah, I listen to you and I think about when you say the energy that it
Mm.
takes to digest
Mhm.
when you eat that big heavy meal.
Yeah.
And you walk away and you think, "That tasted so good going down, but gosh, I feel awful now. I feel so slow and sluggish," or
Yeah.
you have that heavy feeling.
Yeah.
Like the other night, I made queso,
Mhm.
which is probably
Yum.
like your worst nightmare. It's
I
like
have a great vegan queso
mine's like
recipe. I
Velveeta and
love it. Oh
Rotel.
my god.
And I just had a few bites of it,
Yeah.
fine. I
Yeah.
like went on. And then the next day at lunch, it was sitting there in the
Oh, you
refrigerator
can't
staring
say
at
no.
me.
Yeah, it's so
And I
good.
reheated it and I ate pretty much the entire bowl of
And
leftovers and I felt awful the
I
rest of
mean,
the day.
that being said though, so that's kind of like the physical portion of what I follow, but for me, I grew up with, an eating disorder. I grew up with compulsive eating, and so that to me is number 1 of healing that first before I dive into something like the logistics of how I eat, because if you don't heal kind of compulsion and you go into another kind of routine, whether that's food combining or anything else, it may turn into a compulsion. So for me, first and foremost, I always eat when I'm craving, regardless of food combining. And that has helped steer me, and for the queso, it's like that is a celebration, right? You
Yeah.
made it, it's delicious. It's not like you have it every day, but you were present and you enjoyed it. And sure, the discomfort, physical discomfort was there
Mhm.
after. But when that happens for me, I always make sure that I sit with that discomfort. I feel it. It sucks sometimes, it sucks for that feeling, but I don't immediately act over it to right that wrong, because then what happens is it becomes like a compulsive behavior where you were quote unquote bad, so now you have to be
Yes.
good, and then you get into that vicious
Oh,
cycle,
yeah,
which
I
I'm
used to
all
live like
too
that.
well. Yeah.
Like, I think when I was younger and I would overindulge, then I would think like, "Well, okay, tomorrow I need to exercise
Exactly.
extra."
How can I punish myself
Uh-huh.
for that?
And I'd feel like a sense of guilt over it.
Guilt. Yeah, and so that to me, that's natural. It's not like we're trying to get rid of that guilt. Even now, having like healed my compulsions for so many decades now, if I have one of those experiences, that's so important to me because I like to have those experiences because it reminds me, and it's practice again, because this is a practice. Intuitive eating and present eating is a practice that you constantly have to work on. So I won't be perfect all the time, and during those moments, I have to, like, sit and breathe through the discomfort, and then I start again.
You're so great about self-care,
Mm,
and I think self-care really does start with what you're eating,
mm,
and
yes.
like, when you put food into your body that makes you feel good,
Yeah,
and now I think of that as really the true luxury, whereas, like, I used
yes,
to think like, "Oh, I'm treating myself with this
exactly.
queso, or I'm
Yeah,
treating myself with this ice cream." I feel more like now I'm treating myself if I eat foods that are good for me that make me feel good.
I know, and that's something, like, we all have to learn. We have, like, a journey to
Uh-huh.
learn. I think that, I try to imbue that into my daughter who's 7, but we do the fun things too, and even as a new it's the first time for me being a mom to a girl who has dealt with things in the past, so I'm hyper aware of how I'm kind of the energy I'm bringing towards food, making sure that, we welcome celebrations of food, good or bad, quote unquote,
Mhm.
but also, trying to show that message, like, when I feel good, that is the true treat. That's the true indulgence.
Your kids look like good eaters.
They are well, my son's the worst eater. He's
Oh.
it's like my karma, I always say. Like, he's the pickiest eater ever. He's getting better. He's getting better. And my daughter she's always says she's a foodie, and she loves to,
Aw.
like, cook with me and try new things, and that's really been so
Oh,
fun.
that's so great. Such
I
a
know.
celebration.
So, yeah.
What's like your typical, if you're packing lunch, what are you sending?
Yeah. So we do avocado sandwiches is what my son loves. He has a few allergies, so we'll do, like, an avocado sandwich. I love to do a cucumber salad. My daughter has this almost every day. It's like sliced Persian cucumbers, toasted sesame oil, rice vinegar, and tamari. And
Ooh.
it's like kind of like a Chinese, like, cucumber salad, and we have that almost every day, so I'll pack that in there. Some sliced fruit, and then we have, like, the good fruit snacks or the good chips, like, we need a
Your
little
kids
bit
are
of
the
that.
ones that I would wanna trade lunch with.
We
Sounds
were just at
really good.
camp, though, and, my daughter traded for, like, Chips Ahoy and this and that, and I was like, "You know what? It is what it is."
Right.
That's yeah.
She'll probably eat it though and think that the other ones taste better.
Yeah, that's true. On the way back to the city this summer, I was like, "Let's just stop at McDonald's, get them a Happy Meal," because I want them to have those experiences. I don't want them to be like the family that never even touched it. We don't do it regularly, but again, it's that, like, celebration. It's
Right.
fun, like, pulling in and ordering. The kids were, like, having so much fun, and I did the chicken nuggets. I was like, "All right, I don't know. We're gonna do chicken nuggets.
You
I
went
don't know."
for it.
Yeah, and I mean, I was so proud. Like, they both were like, "This is disgusting. We
Iris
don't want
thinks it's
it."
disgusting too. She won't eat
Oh
it.
god.
Meanwhile, I love a McDonald's cheeseburger, I think for the
Yeah.
nostalgia factor,
I mean, I
but
grew up going to,
but
like,
she
Burger
won't
King.
eat it.
I know.
And then this morning I was so proud because she kept asking me to buy her frozen waffles. Like she's like, "I want the round ones. I want
Yeah,
the round."
I go.
So I bought it.
Yeah.
I bought like the organic
Mhm,
version
right.
and I made it. And she took a bite. She said, "Mom, this doesn't have any flavor." I was like, "Yes."
I mean, the truth is that that's my approach with, like, parenting. I mean, I think that everyone has their own approach, but I want them to, like, have an experience with it and make their own decisions because I wanna empower them to make their own decisions once they're older and they can taste. That to me, and even as adults, is what the lesson that I would like to share is not telling you guys what food combining is, but teaching you how how to empower yourself to make your own choice when the choice comes, That's what food freedom is, and I think that that's what I wanna teach my kids, not to eat all organic and eat all the colors and all of those things, and that I do teach them that, but how do I empower them to hold on to food freedom? Because what I think what within this world of wellness and diets and trends and programs and this and that, and it just, it's not diet, the word we've left the diet culture, but now it's like wellness culture, which is essentially like the same thing,
Yeah.
protein, this and that. I want to be able to teach people to think for themselves and make choices that work for them individually, which is not like a sexy thing to say. It's not easy. It's not, you can't like print that in a plan. But that's the nuance that I learned. And that's what has kept me like balanced and grounded for the past 20 years when I never thought I would have that sort of food freedom. I always thought I would be a slave to a program or thinking that I would give my power over to someone who knew better, who was like, This is what you should be eating. This is how you should be eating." And I would do that, throughout my preteens, my teens, and my early 20s. And I hit a wall and I was like, this is not for me anymore. And that's food freedom. So,
Yeah, it's
mhm.
hard when there's so much noise all the time
Yeah.
of eat this, don't eat that, eat a bowl of meat, don't eat any meat,
Hmm.
have fruit. Fruit has too much sugar. It's like just so much noise
It's
all
so,
the time.
exactly.
And so I think it's really hard to differentiate that for you're scrolling through social media, what am I supposed to eat? And
Mhm.
so much of what you say is it makes sense.
Yeah. For me, I think the number one thing is eat what you're craving. And this is really for people who like have struggled with compulsive eating, which is a lot of people, whether it's little or, an actual eating disorder. I think that we're so afraid to eat what we're craving. We want to eat what we're supposed to eat, right? But
Right.
that disconnects our connection to food and our when we're little as children, like we know what lights us up, but as we start to listen to what we should be eating and what we should be doing, et cetera, we completely dissociate from what food should be, which is nourishment, nourishment physically and nourishment spiritually, emotionally. So that's my number one thing is if you are, overwhelmed with so many different messages and you're like, where do I begin? Just think, get quiet. I think that meditation or just breath work is so essential to healing compulsive eating, but get quiet and ask yourself, like, what am I craving today? Am I craving something juicy and cold and fresh? Or am I craving something like cozy and warm? And that I do that every single day at every single meal. Because if I don't listen to exactly what I'm craving, then I slowly start to go away from my intuition. And that also reinforces if you start to intuitively eat, that reinforces intuitively living. So I can make decisions better as a mom in my work. The more I'm living within my intuition, the more I can really, make moves that are aligned with where I want to go.
And when you are craving something crunchy, juicy, you go for watermelon instead of going for, like,
Well,
a piece of pie.
well, no, so here what I do actually just like with the like logistics of it, for me, like my day is so important for my energy. My energy is like so valuable because I have so much to do and there's so much that needs to get done. I don't want to waste my energy on digesting something like really heavy that's going to kind of take away from what I could be doing,
Yeah,
with
I
work
think
and
your
kids.
intuition is eating things that make you feel
Feel good,
good.
especially during, like, the morning early
Mhm.
hours. I don't really, like, eat a big breakfast because I feel like I'm just go, 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 so I'll have my juice or smoothie, I'll have my coffee, and I'll have fruit, like, to go. Like, you'll always see me walking around the city with, like, a Bodega container
Right,
of,
I know
like,
you
fruit.
you inspire me to go into bodegas and buy fruit. I go in and buy fruit in the bodega all the time
Best,
now.
yeah,
Like the cut up
the
mango,
cut
I
up, they're always,
love.
like, so fresh, especially if it's, like, a Korean deli, like, they really know
Yes.
their fruit, and um so I'll have that during the day, and then, like, late lunch, like, after this, I'll probably go to my store and, like, have a big salad, and then dinner is really my moment of celebration and indulgence, if you will, because I can take the time to prepare it, and I'm thinking all day, like, "Ooh, what am I craving today?" And I'll always ask myself that. So, like, it could be like a cuisine. So, is it Mexican? Is it Asian? Is it like what a Greek? Like, what am I craving? Or like, what are those like kind of feelings like warm and cozy or like crunchy and delicious? And then it's a celebration. I look forward to it. Something I think Fit for Life, that book, or maybe it was another book, but it's one of those really 80s, like quintessential, like health books. It tells you to choose the thing that you're craving the most because you're going to derive so much pleasure, the most pleasure out of a meal. So that's the question I always ask myself. What is going to make me derive the most pleasure out of it? Because when you're doing that, you're enjoying it so much, it's scratching that itch, it's easing that craving, and then you move on.
Yeah, it's like when you tell yourself, "Oh, you can't have carbs,"
Mhm.
and then you eat the dinner and you didn't have the carbs and you're miserable.
Exactly, and then you start picking and you mindlessly pick and you're
Mhm.
you're kind of going around and around of that craving, and you're also not honoring your craving and your intuition. To me, bodies are divinely intelligent. They know what they want. They know what they need. If you're craving carbs, there's a reason for that, right? Maybe you're depleted. Maybe it's raining and our bodies really need that sort of grounding. Maybe you're in a particular place in your cycle. Maybe your hormones are dealing with something. There's a reason why you're craving that particular food type of food. Can you make the best choices of like what the ingredients are going to be, how you're going to prepare it? Like I always feel I try if I'm craving a certain like cuisine, I try to make it myself versus ordering in. But lately, I've been ordering in a lot. That's
But
but
your ordering in is different than other people's ordering in. Like, I always I take, like, a screenshot when you do an
I
order
do
in.
have, like, hacks, like, I have
Yeah.
hacked the system, but I do try to prepare my own food when I'm craving it, but make what I'm craving in that moment, and then you just move on, like, the queso moment, like, that's another thing is, like, I didn't grow up with queso, I grew up in New Jersey, queso was, like, not a huge thing for us, but then when I started just to learn about it, I was like, "Oh, this sounds amazing, but how can I make it that's gonna make me feel the best?"
Right.
So, I love to create a dupe, like, I love to, like, I don't know, like, what do they call it? backward engineer a
Reverse
recipe,
engineer.
reverse
Yeah.
engineer a recipe. So queso is a perfect example. Like, how can I hit those flavors? And queso, what's amazing about it? The creamy, luscious, like velvety texture and the spice, right?
Hmm.
And so I'm really proud of my queso recipe, which is butternut squash based. I know that people are gonna roll their eyes. They're like, oh my
It's
God.
good.
But it's like butternut squash. You have nutritional yeast in there, and then what the flavor is the pickled jalapeno, like from the jar, and you blend that up with some like cashews or any sort of like creamy base. And I challenge someone to not say that it's not amazing. We always have it at our store during Super Bowl season,
Hmm.
so like people can take it home and like heat up themselves. And I'll even like now take like a bunch home and like make my own nachos. We also like love nachos. The best
We
way.
love
I
nachos.
know. Love a nacho dinner.
We
A
love
nacho dinner is
nachos.
amazing. But yeah, I mean, there's no more of these like, you know, you don't have to only eat steamed vegetables and steamed fish, for you to feel good. Like, I
Right.
want my things to feel sometimes I want that meal, by the way, but other times, like, I love a crunch, I love spice, I love flavor, I love fun. I
You're
want
having fun with food.
so much fun, and it is fun to reverse engineer it in a way that makes my body physically thrive because I don't want this or that. I don't feel I have to live separately. And that also because in college, you have I feel like the Us magazines and those magazines were all about celebrities like what this is what they eat. And I
Mhm.
was a complete victim to it. It's like so and so will eat like 6 ounces of chicken breasts with this and that and that. And on her cheat day, she eats da 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 da. Da. And that was our culture, the cheat day
Oh, yeah.
culture. So like being good, 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 and then, going off the deep end and being good, 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 and going off the deep end. And that is so, I believe, damaging, not only physically, but just mentally and like spiritually. You're like, you're kept to it within this prison, and then you're going almost overboard and kind of, damaging your body and damaging like your own trust in your body that it knows best. So there's
Yeah.
no cheat day. I don't have cheat days
And
anymore. Every single day is a chance to thrive physically and also indulge at the same time. And I would never
yeah,
trade
you
the way
gotta
that I ate.
live. You
Mhm.
gotta live. And it's
Yeah.
like, I know now I'm a few pounds heavier than I used to be, but I'd rather get to
Yeah.
eat what I want than
Yeah.
feel like that because I used to be like, oh, I'm very 80/20. 80% of the time
80/20.
I'm really good.
Yeah.
20% of the time I can go off the deep end.
Yeah.
I'd rather just live my life
Yeah.
and not feel like I'm waiting for Saturday and Sunday
Exactly.
to indulge
Yeah.
because Tuesday night I might want to go out and have pizza.
Exactly.
And I'm not going to wait to live until
And
Friday night.
it's such an easier way to live, and then you start to crave the things that actually make you feel good. You know when something is fun and, a celebration, and you know what actually makes you feel good. So then you lean towards, like, having that salad before the pizza or whatever it is, and I love it. I love, I it's funny because I feel like now we've been around for so long and I see the trends, going on TikTok or Instagram and everything. And I think that it's what's great is that intuitive eating and mindful eating is part of the conversation where it wasn't during our time. But I do see a lot of like focus on, the protein, how many grams are you getting, this and that. Um,
Oh, it's, everything, especially, like, for our age group now, it's like the algorithm is
yes,
just,
the
how much
protein.
protein and are you wearing a weighted
Exactly.
vest?
I think you're like the red flag is if someone is talking about and focusing more on the way and program you should be eating, whether that's the protein or the this or the that versus how you are individually feeling and what you are craving, that's going to be a red flag for me because you are automatically putting the emphasis on something outside of yourself. So, sure, it's fun to hear these people say, like, I wake up and I have 60 grams of protein within the 30 minutes of waking and I feel great. That might work for that person, but it's certainly not going to work for every single person.
No.
So, if no if someone is talking about a way of eating and not at least addressing that that might not work for you and there's might be kind of nuance to it, then for me that's a red flag.
So switching gears, I want to talk about your wellness routine
Mm.
because you look like you do like the most interesting kinds of treatments
Yes,
and
I love
like,
self-care.
oh, I love all of it. I want to have a Bonberi day where I
I
just
know.
do everything that you do
Yeah.
with the lymphatic drainage massage
Yeah.
and the facials. Like, walk me through it.
Yeah. So I grew up, my mom's Korean, and she would take me to all the Korean like spas, bathhouses, whether it was in Seoul, Korea or in New Jersey at home. And so it was into and she would have kind of like a shiatsu like Chinese guy come and like give her like crazy massages,
Mhm.
and then if I had a headache, she would call me in and he would start pushing, and I his name was Dr. Lee, and he would start pushing on my hand and I'd start crying and he'd be like, "No pain, no gain, no pain, no gain." And so I grew up around this, and my mom was always not as a beauty treatment or kind of fancy spa situation, but to me, self-care is health-care. And I don't mean that in going to like a fancy spa. I mean, in Asian culture, like chi flow is blood flow, energy flow is kind of the essence of well-being. So if you're stagnant, if your blood is stagnant, if your energy is stagnant, that creates imbalance and inflammation, and basically the core of all disease in Asia. So for me, that's always kind of subconsciously in the back of my head is how do I create chi flow and energy flow at all times? So that would be through walking, exercise, sweat, um, jumping, rebounding, massage, shiatsu. Everyone knows that I like only prefer hole in the walls that, are probably less than like $40 a massage versus like a fancy hotel or spa. I don't go to those
I don't
places.
either. They never go deep enough.
Yeah, exactly. Like I need again, like I'm the 7-year-old who had like a Chinese doctor saying, "No pain, no gain." So now that's what
I
I'm
go in,
like.
I'm like, beat me up, please.
Exactly. So anything that facilitates that or supports that, I love to do. And that's something that, I started like sharing on social, and now it's like kind of become part of my job to like go to these places, which of course, I mean, I'm like, yes, bring it on. But I would be doing this with no one watching, like regardless. I think an energy flow is and chi flow is paramount. So getting those things is a big part of it. Um but you can do this things at home. I always say like the home like Bonberi wellness routine would be like sweating, working out, Epsom salt bath that also creates like energy and flow, and foam rolling is like
Oh, yeah.
so important. Foam rolling is like getting a deep shiatsu massage. So getting one of those really like firm foam rollers, and I'll do that if I can't get to someplace. Or they have those like acupressure point balls that you can get on Amazon, and I'll do that. So really anything to get the energy flowing.
How did you learn to find the balance
Mhm.
of you have a very big career,
Mhm.
plus you have kids, you have a husband,
Yeah.
you make time to exercise,
Yeah.
and you make time to cook,
Yeah.
and you make time to do self-care. How did you learn to find that balance?
Yeah, I don't think that there is balance per se. I think that some days I have like more focus on a certain part of my life, But for me, like non-negotiables are getting some sort of movement in, and that just helps me become like a better mom, a better person at work. It just clears my head. Like I get my ideas when I'm moving physically. So I'll do that in the morning, and that's kind of again a non-negotiable. I love having like for sweat for me is like the biggest core, like that when that saying it's the things that you need are sweating, salt, or do you know that
I don't
saying?
know it,
It's like
no.
there is it's sweat, salt, and sea or something can
I
heal
like that.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that I try to bring that into my city life. So I'll have an infrared sauna that I'll do. I mean, not sauna, infrared sauna
Oh,
mat.
yeah, you have one of
I
those
love
mats.
those mats. So I'll do that literally after the kids go to bed. I'll put that on and I'll, do my emails. I'm a late sleeper, so I'll catch up on a lot of work like late at night. And the lucky thing is that, my business is nearby, so I'm able to just kind of like pop around and just get things done. I love the saying like give a busy mother something to do and she'll get it
Yeah,
done. And
exactly.
so that's kind of how I feel. I just make sure everything gets done
I
some way.
love Bonberi Mart. It
Oh,
is such
thank
a
you.
great addition to the West Village,
Thank you.
and I love that I've gotten to be witness to your career and watch the way that it has evolved and
Yeah.
changed, and now you do have this brick and mortar,
Mhm.
and the way that it came from an idea and a blog and
Yeah.
then turned into something that's so tangible that people can go and experience
Right.
and feel a part of and take into their own homes. You have gotten such a cult following in New York with that mart of people wanting to go and eat your food. Those salads are so freaking good.
Thank
Like,
you.
that was some of my favorite big salads,
Yeah, and we
and
did our
we
own.
did a salad
Yeah.
together, and talk about reverse engineering. You took
Yes.
my pizza salad that had, like, fried pepperoni, and you made it vegan
But
and
that was so
gluten-free.
fun for me. I
That
love
salad's
that. It's so
delicious.
good. A really sweet girl came in, I think yesterday, and she's like, Are you gonna bring back the pizza salad? Because
Ah.
I'm obsessed with it. I love it."
I can't
Yeah.
take any credit for the way that it tastes because you
No,
did
that's
all
not
that.
true. It was
I
all
just
the
had the
flavors.
concept, but, like, that salad kills it.
Yeah, I mean, I always wanted to, because I grew up in New Jersey, but I grew up coming into the city and going to all, like, the delis to pick up, like, the not good things that you're not supposed to pick up as a teenager. But, that kind of, like, corner store vibe is what I was hoping to open, but with the healthy twist of things that I personally wanna eat and shop for, and that was almost 8 years ago, and now, the healthy grocery store, trend is, like, all over, which is awesome, and I love to be part of that because I think it's a movement and I think it's awesome. And it's just nice to be able to like serve our community and others who are visiting and want to have a little taste of Bonberry.
Well, you were one of the trailblazers in it, that's for
Thanks.
sure. I wanna ask you a few rapid questions.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, this one I kind of already know, but what was your breakfast today?
Right. So I made myself a green juice. It was kale, celery, lemon, green apple. I make it for my son and then I'll have the like rest. I'll just make extra. So I put that in the fridge. And then I had pineapple.
I mean, you have that, and everything else the rest of the day is
Yeah,
gravy,
it's
you
good.
know?
I love having a foundation, especially for the
Yeah.
kids. It's like if they start with like a solid foundation, then it is what it is for the
Right,
rest of the
have
day.
that smoothie. What's in the Bonberry smoothie?
So the Bonberi smoothie is spinach, mango, frozen mango, banana, mint, and coconut water. And so the thing is with smoothies, again, going back to food combining, I design all of my meals as optimizing for digestion. So basically, they're all food combined properly. What happens is now, kind of the trend with smoothies, it's putting in as many things as possible and making them look as beautiful as possible. And they are gorgeous. They look like works of art and they're 50 pounds, to
And, like,
carry.
800 calories.
I mean, yeah, and I don't even think about calories anymore, but what happens is when you put so much in dense ingredients into a smoothie, it ends up being really hard on your digestion. And for me, again, it's all about chi flow and elimination and levity and lightness in physicality and spirit. And these heavy smoothies are not going to do that. They might be fun and if you want to have one, great. But my smoothies, like the Bonberry smoothie, is designed to amplify digestion and make you feel good and also taste delicious. So they're not going to be like the typical smoothie that you see now that has like the kitchen sink in it. So I went to a very popular like LA based smoothie bar yesterday to try it out. I've been there in LA. I love it. It's like very OG hippie, but it's new here. And there were so many smoothies. It was so overwhelming. And I found the most boring smoothie and people were DMing like, "What smoothie do you get? What smoothie?" And I felt bad because it's the simplest smoothie, but really simplicity when it comes to vitality, physical vitality is usually best. It's the kind of the boring things that are going to make that your body is going to be able to assimilate and thrive in. If you want a fun thing, great, but my smoothies are not going to look like, a tie-dye like crazy thing.
But they make you feel good, and
Yeah.
they taste good.
Yeah.
What was your dinner last night?
Oh, I went to Bond Street, at Hudson Yards. I went to a concert, so we wanted to eat near,
How
the garden,
fun.
And Bond Street is one of my favorite restaurants of all time. This is the first time I've been to the Hudson Yards, and I say this all the time. They have created the blueprint of a veggie roll. Like, they are the OG veggie roll connoisseurs.
Ooh, I don't think I've ever had it.
Oh my god, they make an arugula potato roll, so it's arugula, a lot of crunchy veggies, and then they top it with, like, crunchy, basically, like, chips, potato chips on top. It's so good.
That sounds good.
And then they do a sun-dried tomato avocado roll, which is kind of like their tuna roll, and it's amazing. It's, like, brings me back to 2004.
So it's 5 o'clock. It's been a long day. You're running in the door, and
Mhm,
your kids are saying, I'm hungry. What's for dinner?
mhm.
What is your last minute dinner that you're making?
Pasta, usually. I love Rayo's
We
marinara.
share a love for
Exactly.
Rayo's.
We don't do gluten-free pasta. I do, like, a nice organic, like, Italian that I think I have to think of the name, but they sell it at Whole Foods, and they're, like, air dried the way they do it in Italy, so it's easily digestible, so we'll do that, pasta, again, that cucumber salad that I mentioned, sliced avocado, like, if I think I saw, like, a meme where, like, if a mom, like, throws in a cucumber or an avocado, she's, like, complete for the day, and that is definitely me, so avocado or cucumber, and I do love to make, like, my ice bath potatoes, which takes a little longer, but you just, like, throw them in an ice bath, which makes them crisp up, and I bake them in avocado oil or olive oil, and they're like little french fries, and so that'll be a simple
Do you
dinner.
peel them first?
Yeah, my kids
Yeah.
want them to be
Yeah.
peeled,
Sounds so good.
unfortunately.
Okay, pantry staples. You get
Mm.
3 for the pantry, 3 for the fridge, 3 for the
Oh my
freezer. What are you picking?
gosh. Do basmati rice, organic basmati rice for pantry, and I think just rice because, again, like, I'm half Korean, so we need our rice, like, sticky rice and like, basmati rice I like. Seaweed. Seaweed, I the kids love seaweed, I love seaweed, I think it's one of the healthiest things you could eat, so any sort of seaweed that I can then season and make rolls out of or add to salads. And the last one is a really good olive oil because I think that that's, like, key, and I can just, it just elevates everything.
What are
Okay.
your 3 fridge staples?
I would say romaine lettuce or any sort of crunchy lettuce.
I
We
like
also
crunchy.
we like iceberg together,
Yes,
yes.
we love
Yeah, we
iceberg.
love iceberg. I think iceberg is villainized. I think it's an amazing
I
thing.
love
It's
it.
hydrating, it's great.
Uh-huh.
So a crunchy lettuce,
Mhm.
Persian cucumbers, half like, my kids go through that, like, just
Like
by the
crazy.
bucket. It's
Mhm.
crazy. And then lemons. I keep my lemons in the fridge, and I that lemons are acidic, but they're alkaline on the body.
And your 3 for your freezer.
Oh, freezer. Ooh, Ezekiel bread, the
Uh-huh.
OG, like, healthy
Yeah.
sprouted bread. I need that. Lately, pascha bread, which is 100% buckwheat bread. Buckwheat is a seed, so it's not a grain, and it comes frozen, and they're like these little it's like a brick, and then it comes sliced. It's my favorite bread right now. It digests so easily, and I love it. I'll put avocado on it or make like, sometimes I'll scramble eggs and put on it. It's so good. The last freezer, I would say a frozen mango for my Bonberi smoothie.
Well, this was so fun to talk to you, so informative. Tell
Thank
people where they
you.
can find you.
You can find me at Bonberi on Instagram or on TikTok and come by to Bonberi Mart in the West Village.
It's Bonberi.
Yep.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nicole.
Thanks,
So good to see you.
Katie.
I
So
always
good to
love
see
being
you.
with
This
you.
is so
Thanks.
fun.